Give me a minute, and we'll talk about Kevin's excellent question here in the comments. If we take out the Kerch Bridge, how do the Russians get out? And it's a great question. Now, I do want to point out it's not we, but I love the personal investment in the fight of the Ukrainians. That's great, because we should all feel like we're part of this. Because the Russians and the ideology of these people is coming for all of us. They don't make any distinction. But right now, it's only the Ukrainians that are bleeding, so let's be deferential to them in their fight. The Ukrainian authorities just yesterday made an urgent plea to all Ukrainians in Crimea to get out of Crimea now. So as I understand it, right now there is one lane open for traffic over the Kerch Bridge. It's 3 hours Russia bound, 3 hours Crimea bound. 3 hours Russia bound, 3 hours Crimea bound, right? So there's long lines of people trying to exit Crimea. Going the other way is a nightmare before God. It's 400 kilometers out of the way through an area, through an active war zone, where the front line is creeping closer to the Sea of Azov highway every single day. Not the place to be for anybody, certainly not for civilians. Now, there are ferries, Kevin, right? But the number of people that will be fleeing when the Ukrainians get there and after they've taken out the bridge, it's going to be a nightmare. It's going to be a nightmare for these folks. And the ferries that are there, that's going to be one avenue of escape. Then there are the landing ships. The Russians still have 6 seaworthy landing ships. It's likely that we could see them pull the same stunt that they pulled with the withdrawal from Kherson, where they filled buses up with mixtures of civilians and military personnel so the Ukrainians wouldn't shell the buses. We could see them loading civilians and military hardware on the landing ships so that the Ukrainians don't hit the landing ships. Now, if the Ukrainians keep targeting landing ships and there are no landing ships left by the time the Kerch Bridge comes out, then people are really going to be in trouble. They're really going to be in trouble. You do not want to be in Crimea this winter. When the siege of Crimea begins, and the food, and the water, and the fuel are cut off, it's going to be a thing where people eat their dogs. It's a nightmare. So now is the time to leave, Kev. Your question is very timely, I think, especially given this announcement from the Ukrainians. It looks to me like it won't be long before that Kerch Bridge comes down. Thanks, pal.